For those of you who have not used an Excel spreadsheet before, I'm just going to go through some of the features and a little bit of the formatting that's available to you. So I've opened up my Excel spreadsheet, and this is one I've already added a few little spreadsheets for us so that we can have something to play with. To begin with, just each spreadsheet is made up of these cells. We've got columns that are labeled by letters. We have rows that are labeled by numbers. And each one of these cells has an address. And that address is indicated by the letter of the column and the number of the row. So this one would be D9. We have B8, and the address is also up here in the name box. Now there are three types of things that we would type into our spreadsheet. We have a label, for instance math. It's just a word or a phrase that helps us to organize our work. We have numbers, it's like 73. Now if you just notice here, when we do type in a label, like math, it automatically aligns itself to the left. And if we put in a number, it automatically aligns itself to the right. It's just the default. We can change that if we want to. The third thing that we might put in is called a formula. And I'm just going to highlight the cell that has 79.5. But this isn't, we didn't actually type in 79.5. We actually put in a formula here. And if we look up at the formula bar, we actually see what the formula was. So we have an equal sign, and the equal sign is what indicates that a formula is coming. And here I've got the average of the numbers that are in cells from B3 to C3. So that would be these two cells right here. If I go down to the cell below it, I've got the average of these two cells right here. Now we're just going to do some practicing with formatting. So I'm going to go to a second sheet here that I have. We could have as many sheets here as we want. We can add more sheets if we want, but I'm just going to go into sheet 2. And I'm just going to do a little bit of formatting. There's just a few things I don't like about this spreadsheet that I have right here. It just doesn't look nice. Now we can do things like changing the font, changing the size of the font. We can change our alignment along here. There's all kinds of things that we can do. I just want to show some of the basic ones right now. First of all, if you notice this label new release, we can't see it all because this column is just too narrow. So if I go between the A and the B, I get this cross symbol coming up, and if I hold my cursor down, I can pull that sideways until I can see all the words there. Now these columns between Sunday and Saturday, I think they're too wide. I'd like to make them a little bit narrower, but I want them all the same size. So I'm going to highlight B. I'm going to hold my mouse down, and I'm going to go across, right across to Saturday, and lift up my mouse. Now I'm going to make these a little bit narrower. Now if you notice here, the width all becomes the same size. I can do the same thing with the rows if I wish. I'm gonna actually do a few more rows than are actually there, just in case I make any changes and I want all the rows to be the same size. Okay, now let's say I don't really want the free rental row there. I can take that row, highlight it, and I can delete it. Now it depends on what version of Excel that you're using. It might be in little different places, so it might take you just a little bit to get yourself familiar of what where your commands are. But there's our delete. I'm just going to press delete, and it's gone. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't want to delete it. Oh, darn. So what can I do? Well, there's two things I can do. I can do Control Z. Control Z brings it back. It's just an undo. There's also usually an undo button somewhere along your toolbar. Okay, I really did want to delete it actually, so I'm going to delete it again. Oops. I really did want to delete that. Okay, now I deleted a row. Now I want to insert a row. but I want a row between Thursday and Friday, so I want a new row right after Thursday. And I just press insert. Now I've got a new row in there. Ooh, I'm going to just change that. I'm going to have a special offer on Thursdays for a 2-for-1. Yeah, I like that. So with the special offer, we get some new numbers, and I'm just going to type in some new numbers. No, I'm just making these up. Okay, now you may or may not have noticed that when I typed in these new numbers, our total, which is a formula, actually changed. So watch the total as I do this again. I'm going to take out that 127, and I'm just going to do that by deleting it. Enter. If you notice, that total disappeared. Oh, I put the wrong number in. I can't remember what number I'm in there. 134. Now watch the total. Total went up. So one of the real powerful things about a spreadsheet is that we don't have to change the formulas when we change numbers. It always does the new calculations for us. So if this number was wrong and it was really supposed to be 150, notice the total changes along with it. Now, the next thing I'd like to try to do is I actually want to add a title to this. So I want to move everything down. Now there's two ways I can do it. I could highlight the top 3 and just insert 3 new rows. I'm going to actually do a cut and paste. So I'm going to highlight the chart that I've got there. I'm going to do a Control X for cut, and I want to move that down 3 spaces. So I want this box, the top right hand corner, sorry, the top left hand corner, to now be here. Just did a Control V for paste, and I am going to write in the title, and the name of my video store is Jumbo Video. Now it's a title, so I want it bigger. Oop, now it's not quite there. I can make that a little bit taller. And if you notice, if I want a Jumbo Video to be just in one cell, I can make B wider, but of course that's going to make everything in row and column B wider. I don't want to do that. So what I can do is I can merge these cells, and I'm going to merge the cells between B and G. And somewhere along your toolbar there should be a merge button, and what that does is now makes that into one cell, and it's named by the first cell that's here that's been merged. We can merge cells also that are in various rows as well. So that's now one cell.